feeling the day after? Any different than coming clear for you? Or?
I'm just sore. It's not like anything groundbreaking happened. I think just more pissed about the game than anything.
Cam, when you see guys with garbage bags cleaning out their lockers and knowing that this locker room is going to change, and some of these guys won't be here, some new guys, maybe changes with coaches and stuff, what kind of emotions do you have when it is the finality of the season?
Man, it's a terrible feeling. Guys putting their whole life into this, moving all over the country, coming in for one goal, being away from their families. Luckily, I'm fortunate to have my family here, but there are a lot of guys that sacrifice way more, and I'm just appreciative of the guys that have been here, coaches, the staff, everybody that's had a seat on this bus to work this year. That's all you can be. Year in, year out, each team changes.
What's this offseason going to be like for you personally?
Getting healthy, no darkness retreats. I think for me, I think it's just getting healthy, getting stronger. I was dealing with this first day of training camp, so I think, man, I'm just looking to get back on the right footing and get back to having fun.
You still want to play?
Yeah, of course I want to play. In my mind, I wanted to play more than just one more season. I just got to get healthy first. I was, we talk about coming back from injury. I was told at the time it was a 12-week process. We came back in 6 weeks. Wasn't, I fought the doctors every week. You could ask Dr. Bradley, and I just wanted to put my hand in that pile. But the flip side of that is I put my body through a lot of pain this year. It was get me to the stadium and go from there. But I can't be doing that year in and year out.
When you say it's the first day of training camp,
yeah,
cropped up.
Yeah. When I was sitting out of practice, it wasn't just rest; it was trying to get things to calm down. And we got to the season, and I tore it completely off the bone, and find the right doctors, not know if I was going to do it here, my surgery here, or out of state. Luckily, Dr. Bradley gave me a better recovery time coming out, and got the surgery and just hit the ground running. More walking than running, but it was a grind to get back to even playing football.
Did the 12-week process of surgery come up at all in the trope? Is it 12-week?
No, because it wasn't torn like it was. It was mini tears, and it was a thing where, just got to rest and let it heal. And I thought we were doing that, and we were getting to a point where we felt confident. And then just to play against San Francisco, I fell wrong and tore it completely. And it was one of those freak things that, you couldn't really plan for. So dealing with that and then overcompensating with my left, it's been pretty rough.
Cam, what needs to happen to get past this playoff winning drought that you guys have?
I think more consistency. I think we had bright spots, but a little bit of roller coaster. Got to be healthy at the right times. I think we all got to grow, myself included. Can't have the season I had, and I know that. But I think everybody's got to understand that we have to be trending upwards. It can't just be we come back and do the same things, because that'll get you be even worse.
Cam, one thing that Najee mentioned after the game was he wants to see more rules around discipline and structure. He's only been here 3 years. You've been here a lot longer. Is that something that you think could help this team elevate to get to that, to end the playoff drought, to get to the Super Bowl, things like that?
That is a question for Najee. I really, I've been around this team a lot. You know, he's come across things that were done a different way. I don't know what's all done on the offensive side of the ball, but more rules don't get it done. Playing better gets it done. And being accountable, yes, but making big plays and making big plays in big moments, that's what needs to get done.
Some of the chatter around that's not coming from this room but outside of Mike T is that he might be burned out. Do you see anything different in him than you saw from the day you walked in 13 years ago?
I'll just say this about Mike T. Like, why are we so concerned with somebody who has a year on their contract, has been locked in, and has wanted to just play coach football? We don't ask anybody else if they need to come back for another year or anything else. I just think it's doing him a disservice. This guy's been locked in from the very get-go, but yet we're worried about if he's coming back or not. And he's been locked in, and I appreciate it because that's only created more dissension for players and coaches. We just want to focus on one goal. He wants to focus on one goal. And I just think that's fair to him. I think, everybody likes to talk about, oh, he might take a year off, he might do this, he's only got 1 year. I just think, why would he answer a question like that? He's worried about trying to win a playoff game. And then last night, we just lost a big playoff game. Why does he need to address that now? That's not the time or the place. And I appreciate the question, but I just think for him in general, Coach T's earned that to just, be singly focused on one goal. And, we've asked this question week in and week out. It's just not fair to the process.
Cam, but I understand that wasn't what I was asking. I was asking that people are outside of us.
I know. I'm not trying
just saying,
to.
have you seen any change in his approach to
No.
his job this year versus
No.
the other 12?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm asking.
I think, I just think the consistency with him, when all this other stuff has been brought up, I think with Coach T, it's the consistency that he doesn't have to change up how he's going to act because of what else is going on. I think it's allowed him to just really stay narrowly focused and focus on us.
So all that said, Cam, you have no doubt he's the coach here next season?
My goal is he's going to, not my goal, but my thought is he's going to be the coach here. If anybody's thinking it should be anybody else, then you're asking for a whole lot more than just that. Mike T is, wants to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, is a Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, why would anybody ask for anything else?
Cam, you comfortable that your process Monday to game day as a team? You think everybody's got their eye on the ball like they need to have it?
Yeah. Preparation, was being done, and Monday to Monday or wherever we were going, I just think did some things wrong in the game. Execution wasn't where I wanted to be at. You look at the big plays, missed tackles. We finished our touchdown in there. You see the way that game plays out. Instead of a turnover and they're headed back our way, we cut into the lead. We get a blocked field goal that gets us going a little bit, but preparation is one thing, but the execution and finishing, drive after drive on both sides of the ball is another thing. And prep leads to good play, but good play is only a result. We can't just go back and say, oh, the prep was bad. Now we didn't play good because of it. The prep was there. We just didn't execute.
We have two more.
Cam, in regards to your health,
Yes.
you go into soft. Is there serious concern that you may not be able to recover like you have been in the past? Like, is this?
No, I don't really look at it like that. Like, I tried to squeeze in a whole offseason in about 6 weeks to get back. If I can do that, I feel like it could be better than it was this season. I think my body can heal. I don't think it's a lack of I can't. play at a higher level, I think I can.
Cam,
Is it a
does
rest
the
thing,
injury?
Cam, or do you need to have it?
I got some MRIs, but it's definitely some rest.
Cam, you have 1 year left. You know, have been around here a long time. You're on the books to make a lot of money next year. Ben's in a similar position. You kind of restructured things to kind of make it work for your team. Is that something that you would be open to if they approached you with it?
You know, that's their decision, man. I don't try living, you know, what ifs or what can happen. I obviously like to be here, but you know, when your number's called, your number's called, and you know, it's a business first, and I get that, but we'll cross that road when we get there.
TJ, what do you think the team needs to do to get past that playoff drought, you guys? I mean, what's the next step that needs to happen?
If I knew, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So it's just trying to figure that out. I'm a guy that's never going to run from the work. I think we can always run to work, and I think that's a good starting point. But at the same time, it's trying to learn, reflect, and just find out where we can continue to get better. No team is the same as the previous year, so that's always a challenge. But we're going to have to take a long, hard look and figure this thing out, because keep having the same conversation every year, it seems.
How frustrating was it for you to be dealing with the knee injury going into a playoff game and to not be able to contribute on the field?
I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. It's very frustrating to not be able to take part. But, excuse me, I was trying my best. Jeez Louise. I was trying my best to help those guys along as much as I possibly could, and try to get back. Obviously wasn't good enough to get back, and just is unfortunate not to be able to put my hand in the pile on game day.
We have to do anything other than rehab this offseason to kind of get healthy and ready?
No, I feel like Manil will be feeling good in a couple weeks here, so it's not an issue moving forward.
When you come in
from your
here,
aspect, what do you think needs to change, and what do you think you can build on as a group from this year?
I think it's still too fresh to really fully diagnose all of our issues. There's going to be plenty of things that we need to fix. I think there's some things that we did well. Obviously, I can only really talk on the defensive side of the ball, but I'm proud of some of the things that we were able to do this year. And I mean, we were depleted, and we were able to overcome a lot of injuries this year. A lot of young guys stepped up. A lot of guys that we brought in this offseason were able to put their hand in the pile and provide some good spark, some good juice and plays for us. And I think those are some of the positives that we touch on.
when you come in here and you see guys with garbage bags hanging out their lockers, and you know this might be the last time you might see some guys, the locker room's going to change. What's your kind of emotions of the finality of everything here today?
Yeah, it's every year you're so involved and you're so bought into the week to week. You know, we weren't expecting to be in this situation, so there were no flights booked for what happens if we lose, all that type of stuff. You're just always thinking you're going to win. You're going to be here today working on your game that week. So when that season ends the way that it does, it's so abrupt. We're so used to having that regimented schedule. You come in at 7, you do your whole daily routine, you go to practice, you work out, you go home, and you do it all over again. So when the season's over, it all happens so quickly, and all of a sudden now we're all sitting here, we have nothing to do for the next couple months. So it's strange, it sucks, it's not fun, but only one team gets to feel great after the season, and just waiting to have that feeling.
TJ, because you have been here so many years, does this, going into this offseason, does it feel like there's more uncertainty than any offseason that you've felt before, as far as changes that could happen in the offseason, coaching players, things like that?
No. I mean, I approach every offseason the same way, and at the end of the day, all I can really control is myself and how I'm trying to get ready for the season. And like I talk to you guys all the time, I'm going to take some time to rest, relax, and then when it's time to work, I'll get to work and continue to go about my business and try to be the best teammate and player I can be for this team.
TJ, what was the message from the coach?
I mean, there's nothing groundbreaking, guys. I mean, the season just ended yesterday. It's just a matter of appreciating the work that we've all put in together and understanding that this group of guys won't be together again in totality, like you know how the business works. So it's just appreciation for the work that we've done this year, and just trying to build a plan moving forward for the offseason on how young guys, teaching young guys how to handle it, and There really wasn't much to it other than other years.
TJ, are there some in-house rules or discipline you'd like to see changed?
Nothing I'd like to talk about publicly. I think some things are handled in-house for a reason.
Are guys taking enough accountability from top to bottom on the roster?
Well, I mean, I think we have some things we've done here good and some things that can change, but I think overall we've done a good job for the most part.
DJ, how tough was it for Cam this year just to fight through this? I know you've gone through the injuries, but he's rarely had one, so how difficult do you think it was for him dealing with that?
Yeah, it's tough to be able to go out in the field and know that you're not 100% going into games is an awful feeling. But I respect the hell out of Cam, and as a professional, as a friend, as a leader, I have so much respect for him and in the community, everything. He just goes about his business the right way. At the end of the day, that guy just wants to win. When you have a guy in the building like that, it just makes you want to fight that much harder for him. And I know how difficult of a season it was for him, but I just want him to know that we appreciate everything that he does for us. And selfishly, I hope we can get him back for at least one more year and try to right this ship. But I appreciate a guy like that, and stuff like that is contagious in this building. And guys see it, appreciate it, and want to work harder for a guy like that.
TJ, have you noticed any change in the way Mike T goes about his job this year versus your previous 6?
No.
Cam did give a very impassioned defense of Mike, and about his future. Obviously, I'm guessing you feel the same way and loved him.
Yeah, I want to play for Mike T. It was huge in my contract talks. I don't want to play for anybody other than Mike T. You guys understand and see in the way that I talk about how much I respect and appreciate him as a coach, as a man, as a leader, and that's my endorsement for him.
You touched on it a little bit, but you mentioned just righting the ship. How frustrating is it that in your time here you guys haven't been able to do so?
It's extremely frustrating. The first time you guys saw me this year was in Latrobe and said that I want to win a playoff game. This is what we do it for. All the hard work in the offseason, all the extra reps, everything that you think about, dream about in the offseason is for moments like yesterday, for those games, and to be able to put in the work to get in those positions and not capitalize makes it more frustrating. But there's lessons to be learned in all of this, and it doesn't take away from the good things that we've done. It just means that it wasn't enough, and we need to go back to the drawing board and figure it out.
Do you think you should win Defensive Player of the Year award?
I don't know, man. I truly, it's all about the team at this point. We need to find a way to win a playoff game. That's too deep in this to care about that right now.
You guys had a lot of rookies on defense playing a lot of snaps. How did you feel like those guys as a group grew up this year?
I thought they did really well. I'm very proud of our young guys. Joey, we got Nick, we got Keanu, among many other guys. But that rookie year is such a long season. It's such a long year from going from college to training to combine to OTAs. There's so many extra things those rookies have to do throughout the season. Very likely they could have hit the rookie wall and gave up, but I'm proud of those guys. They played hard, they played physical, Steelers football, and they helped us win football games. And it's not easy to perform at this level. It's not easy to stay locked in, but those guys did a great job, and that's a credit to the leadership in this building and bringing those guys along with us, and the future is very bright for those guys.
TJ, you've mentioned wanting to win a playoff game several times. Mike talked before the game about not wanting you guys to feel the weight and some of the baggage of not winning since 2016. Is that something, though, that it feels like the pressure is mounting or that weight is mounting every year that the drought extends?
No, I mean, every season is different. Every game is different. I don't feel baggage or any of that. I think it's just a matter of performing in those moments and being able to play your best football in the biggest moments, and that's just a key aspect of it that we need to look at.
What's the process like for you in the offseason? Is it all pretty much similar, or are you the kind of guy that maybe works on one particular aspect or one part of your game that you're looking to improve upon or something like that?
No, I'm not going to look at one particular area and neglect the other areas of my game. I'm just trying to continue to find ways to get better, continue to work on my body and adapt and get better at the health aspect of it as I continue to get older, and lean on people as far as where I can get better in the leadership department and things like that in this building. But no, I'm not going in this off season trying to set an edge better this off season, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like you guys close the gap between where you were last year and where you're trying to go, or does it feel like, look, if it doesn't matter, like if the season ends before the last game of the season, you know, it's all the same?
Yeah, I think we had Spurs, our potential, and we're gonna, take what we got, what we know what we have, and keep building that.
Do you feel like you have the guys in the room to maximize that potential to, do everything, accomplish everything that you want?
Yeah, 100%.
Joe, what would you like to see different next year offensively?
Different, nothing different really. Just bring the fight every game, every day. Like I know we can.
Jaylen, did you guys find something with Coach Falk and Coach Selly, the way that was set up late in the year? Did they sort of untangle some stuff and find ways to make you guys productive? And are you hopeful that maybe, is there a part would you like to continue those roles going forward?
Yeah, I would like for them to continue. I thought they did a pretty good job, with it. You could tell they left everything on the line. They were willing to do whatever it took for us.
Jaylen, do you think you guys need to have any more rules around structure, discipline, things like that in the locker room to keep guys accountable, things like that working during the week?
Yeah, maybe just a little, just got to come together as a group and, have a better understanding of each other and, move from there.
Is that something you guys were able to do over the last 3 weeks of the season? Was that part of the difference that happened?
Yeah, I'd say it's gotten better. We can always move forward.
Jaylen, who led that improvement in making that better?
You could just tell, it was by leading example. You could tell players were willing to buy into that, and it started showing.
Is that something that has to happen earlier in the year? How does that happen earlier in the year so that it doesn't come down to the last 3 weeks?
Well, I'm hopeful. We see what we do, when it does take place, and so we come in next year with that same mindset. Build off where we left off.
You said that coincided with the winning streak at the end?
You said what?
Did that coincide with the winning streak at the end, or was that at the
Yeah, I'd say it did.
What sparked that, do you think?
Just the camaraderie we built.
That improvement that you mentioned, is that more of, I think, the way guys are playing on the field on Sundays, or more of how they're practicing and taking accountability here throughout the course of the
Yeah, I'd say both. Obviously when you're producing, you have a better feel and you start, you see your teammates having fun doing it, and then it just, energy is contagious.
Jaylen, for you personally, does it feel like going into this offseason there's a lot of uncertainty surrounding this offense?
No, not really. I think we know where we stand, and I think we know what to do, and so we're gonna keep building with each other.
What did you see out of Mason the last 4 weeks? Do you hope that he's a guy that comes back, maybe competes for the starting job?
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm expecting that. To be honest, he went out there, did his thing. As we all saw, very competitive, and he put the ball in the right places when they needed to be.
Is your head coach's future and speculation about that, is that a distraction to you at all, or you guys as players?
No.
Cam and TJ both were very strong in saying that Mike T's the only coach they want to play for. What are your feelings about wanting to see him continue on here for next year and in the future?
Yeah, that's all I know. He's a great head coach. I would like to play for him for the rest of my career. Just the way he goes about his business and, how he takes care of us. What I've heard is from other places that's not the case sometimes, and, I don't want to find that out, so, yeah.
For you, what's the next step? How would you like to see your personal game continue to evolve?
Just want to, I just want to improve, basically everything, straining, obviously taking care of the ball, route running, anything I can do to help us win.
He just talked about the emotions of today after last night.
Yeah, obviously it sucks. We had obviously further goals to advance in the playoffs, but credit Buffalo, they came out, got up 21-0, and we couldn't come back from that.
I know it's not too long after that game, but what do you guys have to do to maybe make that next step next year to go a little bit further?
I don't know. Just execute, learn on the details when that time comes, and just individually try and get as much better as you can in the offseason and come back here and ready to attack.
You feel like you found it towards the end of the year? I mean, the last couple games?
Yeah, absolutely. The offense was clicking, the defense was clicking, and we just got to continue to figure out what we did in the last couple games and apply it earlier in the season.
Also, with the season ending, there's going to be a lot of change. Different faces in here. There's going to be what's that like for a player knowing that a lot of these people, or maybe some of them, or even coaches, won't be back next year?
Yeah, it sucks. Obviously, this was a close team, but it's part of the business, and not really too focused on next year right now. Just kind of reflecting on this past year and learning lessons from that.
Matt, how about just for you individually? What was the season like going through injuries and then some of the questions and inconsistencies with the offense as a whole?
Yeah, it was frustrating. Obviously, the beginning of the year was not what I envisioned myself. Being out, missing 5 games with a hamstring, and it definitely wasn't what I wanted initially. But I thought myself, I came along later in the year, and when I got healthy, and obviously I think the offense found its groove later in the year, which was big time. Just got to continue to build on that in the offseason.
Historically, the Steelers would have contract negotiations and talks with somebody like you entering the final year of their deal. Is that something you imagine would happen and you look forward to a possible extension?
Yeah, I love Pittsburgh. I want to play the rest of my career. But that's not really what I'm thinking about right now. I'm thinking about obviously this past season and where I can grow.
When we talked to Najee post game yesterday, he said that he would like to see rules changed that deal with discipline and add more structure, things like that. He said he's brought it up to you guys before. Is that something he has, and is that an opinion that you share?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on Najee with how he feels. What he said, you're going to have to ask him about that. From my perspective, I'm just going to see what he says and go from there.
What do you think that this offense and team needs to do as a whole to elevate to get to that level of being a team that wins playoff games, that gets to the Super Bowl, those things?
Yeah, find our identity quicker. Obviously, we found it late in the year, and it worked for us. And we got to continue, to hone on that in camp next year and OTAs next year, and have that earlier in the season. And I think that will be big for us.
When you said it worked for you, did the 2 coordinators thing work well? I mean, is that something that's sustainable?
Yeah, I think they both did a great job with the circumstances that we were put in. But I think Coach Falk and Coach Lay did a great job with handling it. And we kind of just moved on the fly. It was kind of hard to not adjust, but self-reflect, I guess, in the middle of the year when it happened, just because we're trying to win the next game. So I think they did a great job, both of them.
When you say identity, do you mean like a run-first type team? Like, what did you see that you would like to build on from this year and maybe changes for next?
Yeah, we were able to run the ball. Obviously, it opened up our play action in our pass game. So, we just got to be able to, click on all cylinders.
Pat, when you look at what happened this year, you being injured, Deontay being injured, changing play callers, 3 different quarterbacks, does it kind of give you the sense that maybe the end product doesn't represent the talent that you guys kind of had on paper coming into this year that you didn't maybe get to completely realize?
Yeah, injuries are part of the game. It sucks, but we just we have to overcome that. But I think at the end of the day, we did what we were tried to do. We got into the playoffs. Just obviously we didn't finish with a couple wins that we wanted. So it's there. We just have to figure out how to get there early in the year and get ourselves in situations where we can be successful.
And obviously, you're not going to make the offensive coordinator higher, but when you look at an offensive, maybe what you guys want or need going forward, is it something where it's the system you guys are using right now is working, or do you need to have somebody come in with drastic changes and shift things significantly?
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really think that's the case. I think that's what Coach T decides, and that's what Mr. Rooney decides, and I have full confidence in everyone to get the right guy in here and do what we need to do.
You have some options at quarterback. How do you feel that position set up?
It's not for me to comment on. That's how Coach T and the rest of the organization feels. I'm confident in all 3 of them. I'm confident in any direction we go. But again, I'm not going to answer that.